My name is Kari, and on this channel we chat about everything midlife related. I'm nursing a bit of a cold this week, so if I sound a little toad-like, I apologize. The topic this week is one that is incredibly frustrating for me, and that is forgetfulness in middle age. When I said goodbye to my 30s and even my early 40s, I seem to have also said farewell to part of my short-term memory. I am so incredibly scatterbrained nowadays. It's so beyond annoying. Can any of you relate to this? How about this next scenario? Does this look familiar to anyone?
Kari, we need a dish rag to do the dishes.
What was it I needed again? Or maybe this scenario. Where is my cell phone? I just had it 2 seconds ago.
This is ridiculous. Where is that phone?
What in the world is going on? I was sharp as a tack in my 30s. I forgot nothing. I never forgot an appointment, a grocery list, a birthday, a phone number, not even an argument. But now I'm so scatterbrained, I'm lucky to remember where my glasses are when they're sitting atop my head. True story. Now, there seems to be several things that might explain this brain fog in middle age. And there are also several things that we can try to help restore our once sharp and organized brains. Now, keep in mind, I'm not talking about significant mental impairment that hampers your daily functioning and needs to be addressed by a doctor right away. I'm talking about that brain fog that washes over a lot of people in midlife and causes them to be very mentally disorganized and scatterbrained. I'm talking about those little short-term memory lapses that are so frustrating. I'm going to go through 4 potential causes for short-term memory lapses in midlife. The first is on the medical front. B12 deficiencies and thyroid imbalances can leave you very mentally disorganized. B12 protects the neurons in your brain and is vital for proper brain function. So if you are diagnosed with low B12, make sure to treat it right away and see if it doesn't restore your mental clarity. Thyroid hormone regulates metabolism in every organ of the body, including the brain. So when your thyroid is low, it can impede your concentration and your ability to think clearly. So as I mentioned for B12, if you are diagnosed with a thyroid imbalance, be sure to treat it promptly and see if you don't become sharp as a tack again. Another cause for some individuals, and this one affects most of us at one time or another, is stress. Cortisol, the stress hormone, impedes the ability of the hippocampus in the brain to encode and recall memory. Now, clearly, it's more complex than that, but I am not a medical professional, and I really don't want to bore you with a long, drawn-out medical explanation, but suffice it to say, high cortisol does affect the brain and memory and can actually cause damage to the brain long-term. But before things can even escalate to that point, stress and anxiety in the moment can make it more likely that you suffer memory lapses and poor concentration day to day. One more reason to control that stress load, right? The third potential cause for reversible lapses in memory in midlife is for the ladies. Hormones. This is a huge reason why a lot of women are so scatterbrained in middle age and walking around in a constant brain fog. I suspect this may be what's plaguing me and my brain. Apparently, the hippocampus and prefrontal cortex are rich in estrogen receptors, and key to our ability to remember things. So obviously when estrogen is low, in perimenopause and menopause, it's just going to throw a wrench into the entire works and cause our train of thought to derail, so to speak. Estrogen also regulates cortisol, so decreases in estrogen in midlife are going to cause the cortisol in the brain to be unregulated, and I've already discussed how high cortisol affects brain function. Perimenopause is the unwanted gift that keeps on giving, isn't it, ladies? That leads me right into my fourth cause, which is lack of sleep. This can also occur in perimenopause, but does occur for other reasons as well, so men may also be affected in this area. Sleep deprivation reduces the growth of new neurons in the hippocampus, in the brain, and so does affect memory, concentration, and decision making. But neurons aside, when you're not sleeping and you're that exhausted, who can concentrate on anything anyways, right? So, if you're one of those individuals that almost has to post stick-it notes all over your body to function efficiently, is there anything you can do? Can you regain that keen mind that you had in your 30s? Yes, I believe you can. There are things you can do to exercise your brain, so to speak, in order to strengthen it. And I'm going to offer you a few suggestions. Now, obviously, the first suggestion is to treat any medical problems that could be affecting brain function, such as B12 deficiency or thyroid imbalances. Once that is taken care of, another useful suggestion would be brain training exercises. In the same way that you would exercise your body to try to strengthen it, you can also exercise your brain, so to speak, to try to increase cognitive reserves. When the brain is passive, it has a tendency to atrophy, so you need to do what you can to keep the brain challenged. Try games like chess or Scrabble. Try recall games or word games or crossword puzzles. Anything you can do to keep the brain active. Another useful tip is to socialize a lot. Yep, apparently socializing engages several different areas of the brain and is typically associated with very healthy behavior, such as physical activity, bingo, book club. It also increases happiness and decreases stress when you socialize. And when you are in a stress-free and active environment, it becomes much easier to concentrate. This next brain strengthening tip is extremely important in my opinion, and that is get enough sleep. Sleep is critical to memory and learning, and it's necessary for brain consolidation, which is the process the brain uses to create memories. That's important. And as I've mentioned before, who can concentrate on anything when you're completely and totally exhausted, right? A healthy diet can also be very efficient. And actually, it's quite logical to me. I mean, what you choose to put in your body to fuel it ultimately determines how well it runs, including your brain, right? Now, EPA and DHA are right at the top of that list, the omega-3s. You can find them in foods such as avocados, fish, nuts, and seeds, or if you prefer, in supplemental form. I guess I have my work cut out for me. Or should I say, I guess my brain has its work cut out for it? In any event, I better get cracking at these tips and tricks with my level of brain fog. In the meantime, I'm afraid the stick-it notes and the notepad on my iPhone will remain my best friends, at least for now. As a woman, I'm actually quite curious to know if memory improves in postmenopause. Maybe I'm just looking for a little bit of hope. If any of you ladies out there have noticed that your memory improved in postmenopause, let me know in the comments. Also, if perimenopause is long gone for you, but you're still walking around in a total brain fog, let me know that too. I really am curious to know. Plus, there's knowledge in numbers, right? Short-term memory lapses and forgetfulness seems to be a common problem in middle age, although women seem to be affected more than men with the addition of perimenopause. A lot of the causes in midlife, though, seem to be reversible in varying degrees, and that is reassuring. I hope this video brought you some value. If it did, consider subscribing and click that bell if you would like to be notified whenever I release new content. Live your best midlife, everyone, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.